I know I've done many videos on Tulsi Gabbard. I think the last 3, or this would make it the 3rd. That was not necessarily intentional. At the very least, this one wasn't intentional. The other 2 were. I get videos all the time, and that's kind of where this is coming from. I was going through my Twitter feed and I found the video that somebody sent me with the question being asked to Tulsi Gabbard. Now, I understand what the person's trying to get across. I mean, I get videos all day, well-meaning people, in this contextual respect, trying to pry me away from my support for Gabbard, because at this point, anybody that watches this channel regularly know that my support for Tulsi Gabbard has not necessarily wavered, despite things that may come up here or there that I disagree with her on. My support for Gabbard is policy. I mean, ultimately, there is nobody else in the race that has a foreign policy point of view that comes close to what I can somewhat imagine in my foreign policy point of view to be. Meaning, when I look out at the world and I think of the world from the standpoint of a person sitting on the moon, what's fair? Well, the way we go about our foreign policy is not fair, if that makes sense. This notion of knocking over governments to settle either economic, essentially raping that particular country, or political aims. Meaning there's some people who we like, there's some people who we don't like. The people who we don't like, we make their lives miserable, and we get the media to essentially attack and vilify them. Well, Gabbard, I've argued, is my sword on this front because she is no hedge when she goes about talking about these issues. Yes, she's a bit weak on the Kashmir thing, extraordinarily so, and I pointed that out in my video to the chagrin of many people who are Gabbard supporters, include, yes, I'm a Gabbard supporter, but, that's not the horse I'm riding in this race. But I guess my point is, my support for her is because of her policy. There's nothing else associated with it. And so this ability to pry me away. You pry me away when you show me she doesn't mean what she says on foreign policy. And I would think that would be really bizarre since she gets attacked and vilified and smeared for those foreign policy stances. When JFK was running back in, I don't know the year JFK was running, but at the time they were skeptical of JFK, and questions were being asked on whether or not JFK could be trusted because he was a Catholic. Now, we would look at that and say, what? Really? They didn't know that they could trust JFK? Yes, they were curious. They didn't necessarily know because he was a Catholic. They hadn't had a Catholic president. They were curious. When Tulsi Gabbard runs in this particular race, I am always shocked at the number of questions that get asked to her that, if asked in a different context, would totally be off base. This video has someone asking such a question. If we had a Jewish candidate, and that candidate was asked, hey, how many other Jews have been giving you money in your campaign? People will be horrified by that question. Because ultimately, what they're asking is whether or not they can be trusted. And let's not even say Jews. Let's say how many people from a particular party in Israel. How many Israelis? How many, whatever. No one ever questions associations with Netanyahu. Nobody. That never comes up. Netanyahu is running an open-air ghetto. Nobody cares. That doesn't matter in the least. You could be as close and as tight to Netanyahu in Israeli politics, and nobody cares. Nobody questioned that Hillary Clinton was getting hundreds of millions of dollars from the Saudis. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. That is a totalitarian state where they chop heads off and put them on pikes. Nobody cared. Modi, massive deal. But nobody cares about the other stuff. And again, I still make this point that the questions that are being asked to her are hitting at this thing of foreign allegiance. It's like asking a Jewish candidate, can they be trusted because of some association with Israel? Can Bernie Sanders be trusted because he's Jewish? I mean, is there some association with Israel that he's not telling us about? That's effectively what they're asking her. But that, for whatever reason, is fair game. Let's watch the video. You can think for yourself. And you guys have disagreed with me on all sorts of stuff. So, again, you can think for yourself. And you tell me. is this question fair game? And, you know, when Tulsi Gabbard first said this early on, I didn't buy into this notion that this stuff was a certain degree of religious bigotry. My thought was, okay, Tulsi Gabbard is throwing the religious bigotry out there thing, kind of like Hillary Clinton throws out the sexism thing. Oh, Bernie Sanders is sexist because he got into the race and ran against me. But I have to be honest, over time, I've grown to her point of view on this. This question is horrifying. He essentially asks her, hey, how many people from the RSS have donated to your campaign? What he's asking her is, can you be trusted? Because you have people from an Indian party that might have donated to a candidate because she's Hindu. I mean, that's basically what he's asking her. Can you be trusted? Will your policy allegiances end up in ally with this party, this radically right-wing party in India? Foreign allegiance. That's the argument. If this was asked of a Jewish candidate, heads would have exploded. Welcome to the Soapbox. Hello everyone, this is Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, I apologize for that loud noise in the background. My computer has eaten it. Yes, this computer is 6 months old and has just eaten it. And the fan itself is dying miserably. So I will be getting another one. So please bear with this horrendous churning sound in the background. Tulsi Gabbard is asked the question by a gentleman named Peter Friedrich. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I've had Peter Friedrich on the show. He comes in camouflage. He's concealing his identity. And he goes in and asks her a question. Now, Tulsi Gabbard answers this question. She answers it in somewhat of a tangential way, but I'm going to explain why she's answering it in this way. She's hitting at the heart of it, even though she's not quite explaining directly what she's getting at, and I'll explain what I mean. So let's watch the video, because the person who sent me this video again with this intention or notion that, oh, this guy got her on this one. I don't know how he got her on this one. He asked her a bigoted question that if you would have asked a Jewish candidate, heads would have exploded. Take a listen. We'll watch. Let's flip. God damn it. All right. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can make this work. Come on. All right. I'm going to have to restart this video because this is failing. Yeah, I'm going to have to restart this video, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.